Welcome into WagerTalk TV. I am Drew Martin, joined by Rob Vino and Tony Finn of WagerTalk.com. We're talking NFL Sunday football here. Robbie, coming to you first, 1 p.m. Eastern kick, Buffalo Bills, Baltimore Ravens. We're seeing 52 the total, Bills, -3, a field goal, road favorites. Are you liking anything here, Buffalo and Baltimore?
Yeah, no, it's strange, Drew. The first few weeks we've been doing these panel videos together, the three of us, we really haven't had to discuss weather in any of our games. But this one, the look ahead towards Sunday, the total has dropped, and it's basically because of the rain forecasted here. You're looking at 1 o'clock Sunday, Baltimore, Maryland, 67 to 85% chance of rain throughout the game. There's really no let up. How hard it will be is yet to be seen. We're doing these a few days early, these videos, so we don't know for sure. 13-mile-an-hour winds, I don't think bother either arm, Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen. They could throw it through 25-mile-an-hour winds, doesn't matter. But the rain, I think, is the reason for the total drop here. One reason why I can't get involved yet is this list of injuries for Buffalo we just have no clue about. Let's go through them real quick here. 2 guys in the secondary, Jordan Poyer, your strong safety, Dane Jackson, your starting quarterback, both again questionable for this week. Of course, Micah Hyde, their starting free safety, is already out for the year. So Buffalo shy in the secondary, maybe for a second week. Defensive line, if we start going through all the defensive injuries, Ed Oliver and his backup Jordan Phillips at the defensive tackle position, both once again questionable. Offensive line took some hits last week. Mitch Morse, the starting center, listed as questionable. Ryan Bates has a concussion. We'll see if he comes out of protocol okay. And his backup, Tommy Doyle, tore his ACL last week when he replaced him. So injuries galore for the Buffalo Bills. All that being said, statistically, they annihilated Miami last week. They lost the war, but they won the battle of statistics here. I mean, it's crazy. Outgained Miami by 285 total yards, 16 more first downs. Rush for 5.0, only allowed 2.4, so plus 2.6 at the line of scrimmage is a huge number in the NFL, plus 211 passing yards. It's the third straight game that the Buffalo Bills offense has gone for over 400 yards, and the third straight game that their defense has allowed 245 or less. They're great numbers, guys. Even with all the injuries last week, they still dominated. So I'm going to check into these injuries a little bit more as the week goes on, but I can only play this game one way because if there's one overrated, I mean wildly overrated unit on the field, it's the Ravens defense. You got to give me a break with these guys. People who keep thinking that this is a good defense have to stop. Last week, they got lit up by New England's offense and Mac Jones. Mac Jones last week leads his team to 447 total yards, 7.1 per play. 302 through the air, 145 on the ground. That's Mac Jones and the Patriots, guys. The week before, you saw what Miami did to him. If 4 touchdowns wasn't a big enough lead for that defense of Baltimore. So they are susceptible in almost every way on that defensive side of the ball. And let's not forget that last week, while they were giving up over 300 passing yards to the Patriots, they had their starting corners back for that game. So listen, the defense in its entirety is 2 steps slow, and I don't think that they'll stop Josh Allen whatsoever. Buffalo's very accustomed to playing in bad weather, so if it does rain throughout, I don't know that that would bother me. I still think Buffalo's offense hums, but I would like to see some of these defensive injuries turned into probables or full goes because the other side does have Lamar Jackson and an offense that's moving the ball very, very well also. You may want to look toward over here. I think maybe this 51.5 could be a bit of an overreaction, pushing the total down 4 points already, depending upon how hard this rain is. So we've got a lot to look at for the remainder of the week, whether it be weather or whether it be Buffalo player injuries. But I think all things being equal, I like Buffalo, and I'd probably like over. If you want to really gamble and take a chance, you go ahead and play that over right now and hope for good weather on Sunday.
He's Robbie Vino. Tony Finn up next here. Both of these two teams sharing a loss to a common opponent, that being the first place Miami Dolphins. Hey, something to take away in the handicap for both of these two teams. But to Robbie's point, they won the battle but not the war. That would be towards the Bills winning the statistical battle. What are you thinking here in this matchup, though? We get the Bills and the Ravens. Good matchup.
Yeah. It's a great matchup. Great game. This is a game I'll watch, even if I already have taken a small position in this game. But the thing that I've taken first and foremost, last week I think I erred, and it's not hard for me to say I erred because I do it quite a bit. So it's come habit. No, but I listen, I looked at the math, I looked at the numbers, I looked at the defense, looked at the injuries last week in this Miami Buffalo game, and I played over. And I thought, the first quarter was fine. Actually, the first half I was okay with. But in hindsight, talking to some people I respect, and we discussed our losses and get opinions on why the other person wouldn't have played it that way. And mostly it's because of what Miami has done, and they really piled points up in bunches and in short periods. And in truth, in the first two games before last week, most of their points have been scored in one half, or maybe a quarter even for that matter. But 5 injuries to that defensive side of the ball for the Bills. I just thought this was going to be a game going over. And in truth, I could have been on Miami because of those injuries that Rob has outlined so elegantly. And here's what I like. I know the first thing is I like Mark Andrews over receptions, over yards. He really broke out last week, and the situation is very similar with no Micah Hyde, as Rob mentioned. He's the safety, he's the player in Buffalo that would be on Mark Andrews, and without him, I think Mark Andrews just has his way. And let me ask you this: was over at the great Teddy always covers Castle a couple days ago, and we were talking, and he asked me a question that just rings absolutely true. He said, "Tony, who's been the best quarterback in the league? After 3 games?" And I had to stop because I want to say Allen, or I want to say maybe Mahomes because he's September numbers, right? But then it just hit me, and no one's been better than Lamar Jackson. Nobody, and not just running or throwing, but everything he's doing is right. So can Lamar make up for some of the defensive deficiencies that Rob, again, laid out for us? There's a lot of things. I don't think a total should go down because of rain. I think a total should go down because of wind. Rain actually gives receivers a little bit of an advantage over the secondary. They know where they're going, and if it's any slippery in any way, shape, or form. So if Rob's correct and he's spot on with the fact that he doesn't believe in this Baltimore defense, then you're right. I'm over this number. I'm over the total in this game. I think Baltimore's a good tease, and I don't tease very often, but I think they're a team that if this thing goes to 4, if you want to play 6.5, and you got a good book that's giving you $1.20 on 6.5, then you can take Baltimore at 10 points. I'm on Baltimore in this game. If I'm playing it, I'm teasing Baltimore probably as well, and I'm on the over. So there's three positions for you right there.
Tony Finn, Rob Vino as well. I am Drew Martin. Guys, check out WagerTalk.com. Monday's a great day to do so. $9 Mondays. All plays from all handicappers discounted to just $9. Check it out, WagerTalk.com.